Imagine a father who spent 18 years putting money into a 529 plan for his newborn daughter. He pictured dorm rooms, textbooks, and a graduation pap. Then she turns 18, sits him down at the kitchen table, and tells him she's skipping college entirely to start a business. For most parents, this scenario feels like a financial disaster. They assume decades of careful saving are now locked in a rigid, college-only trap with no purpose. That fear of the trap stops a lot of families from fully funding these accounts. They deliberately hold back, worried that a sudden change in their kids' plans will leave their money stranded. But that trap is an illusion. Buried inside the IRS rules for these accounts are highly specific, completely legal uses for that money that have almost nothing to do with a traditional university. When families unknowingly pay taxes and penalties on money that could have been withdrawn tax-free, they're losing wealth to a misunderstanding of the law rather than any actual restriction in the account. A 529 plan's basic mechanism is simple. After-tax money goes in, grows tax-free, and exits for qualified expenses with zero tax. But qualified means more than tuition. Funds can flow into off-campus rent, groceries, and required supplies like a laptop. The timeline is also wider than most realize. Under current federal rules, you can withdraw up to $10,000 per year for K-12 private school tuition, years before a college decision is even on the horizon. And if a kid skips the traditional university route, the account can pay directly for registered trade apprenticeships. For aspiring electricians, hardworking apprentice plumbers, and HVAC technicians, these funds can cover program fees, books, and required tools. Even if a student graduates with debt because the savings didn't quite cover all 4 years, you can use up to $10,000 of remaining 529 funds to repay those student loans directly. When you look at the actual scope of what is permitted, the 529 reveals itself as a financial tool designed to adapt to a family's actual path. Consider two parents, Stephanie and Frank. Both have kids who decided to skip traditional college for a skilled trade apprenticeship. Stephanie assumes the money is trapped. She takes a non-qualified withdrawal and braces to pay a massive IRS penalty just to get her cash out. A 529 balance has two parts: original contributions and investment earnings. The 10% penalty and income tax apply exclusively to the earnings slice. Original contributions went in after tax, so they come out completely tax-free and penalty-free, regardless of how they're spent. Frank, on the other hand, knew that his daughter's apprenticeship was a qualified expense. He withdrew his money to pay for her tools and program fees with zero taxes and zero penalties on the entire balance. They had the same exact starting point, same non-traditional path. The financial damage for Stephanie didn't come from the IRS tax code. It came from acting without knowing the math. There is an even newer provision for money that genuinely never gets used for any educational purpose. A recent rule change allows you to move up to $35,000 of unused 529 funds directly into a Roth IRA, bypassing tax penalties entirely. The main condition for this transfer is that the 529 account must have been open for at least 15 years. Practically speaking, an unused college fund can transform into a tax-free, decades-early head start on that child's retirement savings. For families worried about several $1,000s in leftover funds, this rollover pathway provides a secure landing spot for savings that would have otherwise been hit with heavy penalties. Even without the Roth rollover, you have another layer of flexibility. If the original child doesn't use the account, you can change the beneficiary to a sibling, a cousin, or even yourself, without triggering any tax consequences. This ability to shift ownership means a 529 functions as a family wealth vehicle, directing money toward whoever needs it most across generations. With these off-ramps in place, parents can maximize their contributions with high confidence that the money will find a productive home. Go look up your specific state's 529 rules this week. Check the exact details for K-12 tuition, apprenticeship programs, and Roth rollover eligibility, as these details vary by state. A child's decision not to attend college doesn't end the account's life. It just changes which page of the rulebook you follow.